Hey, good afternoon everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make Palmiers. These are a fun little cookie made from puff pastry. I'm using store-bought here. You can find this in the freezer aisle, usually with the frozen pie crusts. And now I have defrosted this overnight in the fridge. And you're also going to need a couple of cookie sheets. I've got mine prepared with some parchment, a rolling pin, cutting board to work on, just some regular sugar, and I have got a pastry cutter here. Now you've noticed I've got this very well wrapped up. The reason for this is the blade on this is razor sharp. It looks like a pizza cutter, but it's much sharper. Okay, you can cut yourself pretty seriously with this, so show it some respect. If you don't have one of these, just use a really sharp knife. Once you have your oven preheating to 400 Fahrenheit, which I have right now, get your surface ready. I forgot, I got another piece of parchment here ready to go. And what you do is just sprinkle some of the sugar on your work surface. And get out one of the pieces. These pre-mades come in 2 chunks. What I do is I take one out and just put the other one back to rest in the fridge while I'm working on the first one. That way it doesn't get too soft. Now this should break off fairly easily. And you can just give it a quick tear. Just drop that down onto the sugar. You can turn it over as well to pick up some sugar on both sides. There's always going to be a damper side, so make sure you put the dry side down and sprinkle a bit more sugar on top. This will help it not to stick to your pin. I'm just using a noodle stick, which is also a French style rolling pin. This is a sweet cookie, so it doesn't really matter how much sugar you put on here. Now, you should want to try to lift it up just to make sure that it's not getting too warm. And you can turn it over, provided you've got some sugar underneath it. What you want to do is just roll it out fairly quickly into a pretty even square. As big as you can get comfortably. And again, see, I have to move this over a little bit because it's getting too close to the edge on one side. That's feeling a bit damp, so I will put just a little bit more sugar on top. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So for the thickness, you're not really concerned specifically with a measurement. It's more visually the size of what you're going to get here. Now, you can either score it with a knife or get out a ruler or whatever you want. What I do is I just visually see where the middle is and fold it over. And if I'm wrong, which as you can see I am a little bit, provided I haven't pressed it down, you can pick it up and move it over a bit, either way, until you get what looks like about to be the middle. Okay? Once that happens, just lightly press that down. Fold each side over again. So it's even. And again, you can move it over a little bit if you have to. Take whatever sugar is left that you can pick up, just sprinkle it on. Okay. Now I am going to turn this and lightly wrap it up and just pop it back in the fridge quickly, just like this, while I prepare the second roll. So I have both pieces rolled out, and I took the first one out of the fridge, and I'm just going to unroll it here. Yeah, that's looking fine. Now, first thing I do, don't ever worry about losing half a cookie. If it's not even, just get rid of it. You're going to have more than enough here. So I'm going to cut off both ends that are uneven. And as I said before, be very careful with this cutter. It's very, very sharp. So, eyeballing it for about a little over 1/4 of an inch. Just cut them one by one and just leave them flat on the parchment until you cut all of them. After you have them all cut up, you're going to have little strips like this. And what you're going to do with each one is carefully pinch it towards you. And just kind of pinch it like that and just flatten it down a little with your finger. And pick it up carefully. Dab it in the sugar on both sides and just lay it on the sheet. I'll show you another one. So pinch, press, dip it, and just lay it on the sheet, and just keep going like that. I have all my cookies cut and laid out on the sheets. It turns out it makes 4 dozen. And I got the oven preheated to 400 degrees. Cooked these on the middle rack for 15 minutes. And I must say, for these ones, you do have to keep a close eye on them because you want them to cook nicely and brown, but it's really easy to burn near the end. I set my alarm for 15 minutes to check them, and they look like they're ready to flip now. So, give you a shot here. Unfortunately, a couple of these look like casualties. I think I cut them a bit too thin. What you do now is turn your oven down to 325 right away. And get some tongs and start turning these over one by one. They're not going to need much longer on the other side. Just enough for them to finish browning evenly. After I've turned them all over, I open the oven door for a little bit to make sure that the oven light goes back on at 325 so it actually has dropped in temperature, because if you don't do that, they can burn really easily. As you can see here, they've all been turned over. So I'm going to pop them in and take them out every 5 minutes just to see how they are, because they do brown really fast at this stage. Everybody's oven is different, and I can't give you a definite amount of time. Sorry about that. So it's 5 minutes at 325, just to dry them out a bit more and brown them on the other side. So let's take a look at what we got. I'll just pick up a medium one. Yeah, it still could use another 5. So I'll pop that back in. This is after 10 minutes total at 325. And as you can see, yeah, there are a couple of burnt ones, so I'm going to toss those ones like that. Most of them are fine. So what you do just to check is just pick up an average looking one and turn it over. And it's not too hot, yeah. So as you can see, I'll get under the light here, it's browned all the way, it's browner on one side and it's cooked all the way through. Okay, I'll take a look at one more here. Yeah, that's fine. What you want to make sure is they just don't have any damp pastry. They all look pretty good. So I'll take this one and I'll just snap that for you so you can see that. And hear that. The crunch just came out just right. And you can see that it's cooked all the way through. So it's flaky and sweet and crunchy and light. And they're just yummy. So this is how you make palmiers. Pretty simple recipe. All you need is 1 pack of frozen puff pastry and a little bit of sugar and some patience and attention. I hope you try it and I hope you like it. See you again.